So up to this point, Absolute Batman has almost been absolutely unstoppable. But oh my gosh, when I tell you here, literally the opposite is true. He becomes so vulnerable, so weak, so almost hopeless, almost losing his life and everything he stands for in a pointless battle in a villain's win. But this is AJ here at the Hero Informer, and let's get into it. So initially starting, we see Batman as a kid, Bruce Wayne, which of course this comic does jump back and forth between the past and the present. But here we see him shortly after the attack that took his father's life, getting checked up by a doctor to make sure he's all good and doesn't have any rabies or anything from the bats, which of course he is fine, but there's one thing that the doctor says that sticks with Bruce. But they're going on to say, yep, you're all good to go, but if you start growing fangs or pointy ears, you should call me right away. Otherwise, that should be the end of you and bats. Not knowing that this right here, this moment, is literally only the beginning, shaping young Bruce Wayne to become this absolute Batman that he will in the future. And yes, while he can't change the past and the events that happened, it's almost sad seeing this version of Batman and how his life turned out. Because sure, you know, he has his mother who is still alive and only his father died, but unlike the main Batman and his counterpart, this version of Bruce, this absolute Batman, doesn't really have any sort of support. He has no other heroes that he knows of. He doesn't have the Bat family. He's never met Superman, the hopeful man that pushes him to go forward. He has no Dick Grayson, Nightwing. Heck, he literally just met his version of Alfred. They're acquaintances and tolerate each other at best. And even with the few little connections he has, Batman is going to lose them all. As because when we pick up in the midst and aftermath of what's going on, with Batman publicly accepting a Black Mask deal to not only lay low, but almost quit being Batman for $200 million. We see him rev through the streets going to meet the Black Mask himself. And all of the party animals and people of Gotham, the villains, they have strict orders not to touch Batman. So as he rides down Gotham, he's almost tempting them, trying to egg any of them on to attack. Give him any reason for the deal to blow up and be null and void. But nothing happens, and eventually he goes to the spot where he needs to be to meet this new figure. All while Alfred in the shadows watches and tracks everything. And even this, Alfred doesn't have to be here. If anything, his employer and the people he's working for tell him his job is done, he should leave. But he stays right where he is, watching this entire interaction unfold. And things aren't just looking down for Bruce or Batman in this situation, but even for the other goodwill individuals in Gotham, including his own mother and Commissioner Gordon, who at this point is running for mayor. But maybe that's not the right words, because essentially he just lost. Mayor Hill is coming up to almost sweep the competition and become mayor, but at the same time he is very corrupt. Whereas Gordon in his corner, of course, is trying to do the right thing. Even Bruce Wayne's mother, Martha Wayne, she has still the same good ideals and good heart as Bruce, except she's doing it in a totally different way, going more the normal and straight route, getting into politics and helping Jim Gordon go for mayor, to change the city the right way instead of this absolute Batman vigilante type of way. But Jim Gordon himself is almost so over it, so over all this corruption and losing, not being able to even see a full win in Gotham. Which is a stark contrast to Martha Wayne's almost optimism and pushing through type of attitude, which is the same kind of attitude that her son, Bruce Wayne, adopts himself. Because as we move over to see him on the rooftop waiting for the arrival of the Black Mask, we finally see how things play out. And when I tell you things get really, really ugly, that is an understatement. As Alfred still watches from the shadows and goes on to further narrate, saying, "Here we go. A few more moments and this fever dream will be over, and this Batman will be something lasting, applicable, because he is getting hundreds of millions of dollars and will soon just turn from a vigilante within the city, scraping together what resources he can, to possibly using that money to make lasting impact and be something beyond just a normal hero." But even as Alfred watches, he senses something. For a moment, Batman's back tenses. It's almost imperceptible, but Alfred is able to catch it, meaning maybe Batman isn't as down or docile as he may seem. He is planning for something. But again, Alfred is really on track with Batman taking this deal now. Alfred has seen the world being an almost secret agent here, if you will, and not just a butler with some military background in the main DC universe. Alfred knows there's only so much a vigilante like Batman can realistically accomplish within Gotham, or even changing the world at large. But if you have goals like Batman does, and now you have hundreds of million dollars to complete them, you stand way more of a chance. But with the arrival of the Black Mask and his little posse, we finally see these two opposing forces. Batman, the self-proclaimed protector of Gotham, and Roman Sionis, the one man who has been destroying Gotham. Because as he goes on to say, so it's all set. $200 million. Completely anonymous, the code to the account was sent this morning. And Batman of course already knows this and says he used it on something big. Which $200 million, that's generational amount of money, generational wealth, that Batman could use in a plethora of different ways. To either try and boost his career as Batman, being 10 times more efficient, or even try to build up different avenues like open hospitals, foundations, etc. But as the Black Mask goes on to further ask, he says, "Okay, what did you spend it on? Cars, planes, bad computers? How much did you use? I just have to know." And the response of Batman is, all of it. Every last dollar. Do you want to see how I spent it? pulling out a lever, pressing a button, as we see a giant bat symbol in the sky. This absolute Batman's bat symbol shining in the sky, and he is projecting the symbol into the night sky using every penny of the $200 million he got from the Black Mask, slowly burning it just to send a message. No, he's not just gonna roll over, accept Black Mask blood money to become docile and almost out of the Black Mask way. What kind of message would that send to Gotham? Oh yes, your hero and protector can just be bought with a few $100 million and get out of the way. But no, this absolute Batman is confident in his abilities to change Gotham and potentially the world and get rid of this party animal group his own way. Which we will find out that, maybe the absolute Batman isn't right all the time, but still, though hilariously as the giant symbol shines in the night sky, we see the Black Mask goes on to say that is one giant ugly bat. Which, even though this bat symbol kind of does fit this absolute Batman, it is kind of ugly still. But here with this almost act of aggression, the deal is off. The party animals are free to attack, and vice versa with Batman. Batman is able to finally defend himself and take out these party animals, and Black Mask, who is finally here in the flesh. With him even going on to say and declare, "See, Roman, I don't need cars or planes or computers. I don't need anything you have. All I need is Batman." And instantly he starts whooping and beating on these party animals and the low-level soldiers, getting the upper hand and brutalizing them without mercy. And even we see the appearance of one of the big bads from last time who Batman literally chopped his hand off, of course now wanting revenge on Batman, but even still here he has sorely underestimated Batman as he jumps on his back, only to be impaled by the spikes on his costume, slowly letting him bleed out. Any physical resistance that these party animals are giving to Batman right now are almost non-existent. Batman is just pushing through and taking everybody out, with him even turning to the Black Mask himself, going on to say, all of the crime the party animals committed, all of the arsons, the robbery, the murders, it was all manufactured by you, so you and your boss could profit. You don't care how many people die, which of course he doesn't. In this instance, the Black Mask is almost unredeemable, with him even confirming, saying no, but fortunately you do, as he orders some of the other party animals to just start opening fire, killing everyone and other party animals alike, all just to capture and get Batman down, which eventually they are able to do. Batman is overwhelmed. There's just too many people as multiple ropes firing out, momentarily holding him and capturing him. With the Black Mask watching Batman struggle against his restraints, almost being disappointed in him, saying, "Man, you had it all too. All right there, the ticket to the big party, and all you had to do was reach out and grab it." Which Batman, taking these last words to heart, reaches out physically to try and grab the Black Mask, which of course doesn't go well for him as the Black Mask, being stronger than he looks, grabs and twists Batman's arm, breaking it from the hilt, with him furthering pushing the idea that Batman could have had it all, but now in the position he's in, what does he have now? Which Batman just goes on to say, with a smile on his face, "I have just what I wanted. Everything that you have said up here on this rooftop, everything that you have confessed to, it's already at every news station in Gotham, as Batman has sneaked in a secret recorder recording this entire interaction." Which maybe if this was any other villain that actually cared about their appearance, yes, this could potentially work. But here with Roman Sionis, the Black Mask, he's almost too corrupt, too far gone, that literally he just doesn't care. With him going on to taunt Batman, saying, "You actually think you achieved something here, don't you? You really believe that burning the cache, exposing the quote-unquote truth, is going to inspire them, the citizens of Gotham? You really think you're the hero? I hate to tell you, pal, but you're not even the main character." While all this is being explained to Batman and the $200 million are slowly burning away in the background, Batman is also being brutally stabbed and tortured while being captured, bleeding out on this random rooftop in Gotham. And it gets worse as someone pulls out a flamethrower burning Batman. But Batman is built like a brick house. Physically, he is a beast, but still he is only human. And as a human, he has limits, one that he is pretty much approaching now. But the Black Mask goes on to further say, the only hero of the story, Batman, is money, which will coincide with his plan later on, basically showing that yes, Black Mask is so powerful, so bored with life, and just has too much money. He is corrupted through and through. He knows just how much money could change a person. The average citizens of Gotham who would never think of doing crime or picking up or working for someone like the Black Mask and the party animals, all they really need is one push and a powerful motivator: money. With Batman still just being beat in the background and eventually knocked off of the roof, falling down onto the city of Gotham below. But thankfully his tattered and broken cape, being the worst parachute I've ever seen, slows his fall, even if barely, before he crashes down on a car. And to make matters even worse, we see the GCPD actually has eyes on Batman, all who themselves wouldn't really care if Batman were to live another day, as they open fire, blowing him up, hurting him even further, but he is able to get on the move, limping away, barely able to stand up and conscious, as again it doesn't get any easier for Batman, as a lone officer spots him in the dark and hits him with her car at full force. And as he is able to just barely crawl into the sewer, opening a manhole cover, the officer gets out, aiming her weapon at Batman, telling him to stop. But Batman at this point, who has just dealt with his most devastating loss yet, just keeps moving, telling her if you're going to shoot, then just do it, go ahead. But here, as we find out that this officer here isn't just any random no-name officer, this is the daughter of Jim Gordon herself, Barbara Gordon, who of course later goes on to be Batgirl in the main DC universe, but here we see that she is no different, as in, she still has goodwill and a good heart as she puts down her gun and just lets him leave. And of course, when over the radio, the other officers ask her if there's any sign of Batman, she just says no, none. But Batman leaving his cowl behind, this obviously is foreshadowing that yes, maybe this Barbara Gordon here will go the same path and track Batman down, maybe even becoming his first partner against crime, the Batgirl. And with Batman barely escaping, barely getting away within an inch of his life, we see how the Black Mask is handling all of this right now. Because yes, before this entire thing was being live streamed to every news network, which is good if Batman's plan would have worked, exposing to the citizens of Gotham the Black Mask's corruption and just how bad he is. But instead, Batman has just inadvertently given his biggest enemy so far the biggest platform to, again, every news network on Gotham, meaning everyone is watching. As he goes on to tell the people of Gotham a little story, a story of how he used to grow up on a pig farm, humble beginnings, and one of the jobs on the farm was to kill the pigs when the time came. And to do it, he used one of those bolt pistols, a 5-inch nail, right in the head. It was just one shot, thunk, and the pig was down. But once in a while, in rare occasions, the pig will have a spasm. No, not of pain, but of joy. And he only learned later in life that this only happened when the pin got deep enough into his tiny little brain to hit a specific spot, the main pleasure center, and this could only occur if the pig didn't tense up. When the pain hit, the pig just relaxed and accepted it, which seems pretty random at first, but he brings it all back saying, we can all feel it. The big guys, they killed the world a long time ago, and yet they keep us all here slaving away with the promise that it's still alive. I mean, think about it, you can barely pay your bills while their money makes money. You drag recycling bins to the curb while they ride private jets that tear the sky apart. You struggle to hold this system together that does nothing for you, doing the right thing so they can do the wrong one. And with this, the Black Mask just has one question. Why? Why be a good guy doing the right thing? The people at the top, the more successful people are all doing the wrong things. Why be a moral person like Batman, who throughout his life has endured nothing but pain and struggle for the most part, whereas you can be someone like the Black Mask, who is morally corrupt and bad, but he is very successful with all the money and power he could want, living a life where he can do anything he wants to anybody. Obviously using this platform he has now to play on the moral heartstrings of everyone in Gotham. Which, moving back over to Bruce Wayne, we see him at one of his little secret hideouts that he has throughout Gotham, slowly patching himself up from the brutal torture and battle he just endured. It is almost sad to see Bruce in this state, so down and defeated, barely pulling himself together, knowing that there's an entire force, an army he has to go after, while Bruce is just in his little cave, licking his wounds, barely staying alive to see another day. But even while he is doing this, stitching himself back up, he feels a pair of eyes on him, and it is none other than Alfred, who has come to track him down. After witnessing everything that Batman has done tonight, he goes to give him a little piece of his mind, telling him, do you have any idea what you've done? And at first, Batman just answers the question saying yes, he tagged him with a tracer from the bike. He slipped it onto Black Mask's clothes when he grabbed him. So for now, Alfred, come help me close some of these wounds and I can. But Alfred just cuts him off, telling him to go to a not so good place, because at this point, Alfred is just so done with Batman, even going on to say, I used to be a field medic. I know about 100 ways to patch you up and help you heal, but I will never help you again. Goodbye, kid. And just know what's coming next is on your head, which is very sad to see. Batman is losing everything, almost of course down to his life previously to most of his connections. Alfred himself, who, he didn't really have that good of a relationship with here, still seems like he's gone and out of Batman's life. Bruce is back to being a solo act with no support. And with Batman having no support now, we move back over to see the Black Mask in this party animal group gain more support. Because as he goes on to further say and further try to manipulate and corrupt everyone listening, all of those ideals, those dreams you're tolling for are dead. Progress is dead, history is dead, and truth is dead. So how about we all just admit it's dead and relax? Let's all live in that one split second of ecstasy and feast on the giant scraps. And because Batman turned down his invitation, I'm offering invitations to all of you. Hundreds of millions of dollars all up for grabs. As we see what is truly happening in the Black Mask's plan, he has left crates all over the city for the tens of thousands of people within Gotham to see and grab. Crates full of weapons, instructions, and party animal mask. He is offering an invitation to everyone, no matter who or what, to join his group, join in the ideals, and even offering hundreds of millions of dollars to go with it. Telling the people of Gotham, welcome to the party animals. As you know just how bad of a city Gotham is, there is a plethora of people who would drop everything in a heartbeat to pursue and be a party animal. Which at this devastating revelation, Batman is at his lowest, whereas the party animals are almost at their highest, gaining even more footholding within a city. But that is the first 5 issues of this Absolute Batman series and concluding this first arc. And honestly, I don't know how Batman is going to fully get through this unscathed and fully win. But that is something that we're going to have to find out next time as this issue and video comes to a close.